Okay, I'm starting this new journey here, and I bought myself this hobby table. It's supposed to be a sewing table mainly, and I got it today, so I'm putting it together. What I did is I read the instructions at the beginning here. I went to the list of materials, make sure everything was there before I even started putting anything together. So if you can see here, I checked out while I'm going through, making sure the numbers are right and the actual item was right. And now I'm in part 1. So I finished assembling the first part, right? So make sure you pay attention to the notes at the top of the pages, because it does matter what they say here. So in the first section, they say install the casters and washers first. I did that. I didn't pay attention to this, and I just put part 8 to part 4, tighten it with part 11, and then I realized, oh, I need to tighten these the casters, which is part 19, 21, and 22 first before I can do that. So that's why they say install the casters and washers first. You do that part, you tighten it as they give you this tool here where you can tighten the casters to these part of the legs here. Once you're done with that, you shove these in the number 11 into number 4, and then you shove number 8 into number 4, and then you tighten with the 2 screws from number 11. So that's what I did here. You can see the casters, and there's a little bolt here that I tightened with the tool. I attached part 8 to part 4, and then I added in the pieces for part 11. So now I'm gonna go to step 2. Step 2, it says do not fully tighten the bolts. There must be a reason why, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all these parts together while making sure not to tighten the bolts too tight. Okay, I'm done with part 2, right? It's this section here. I put, and pay attention, there's little protrusions from part 4. And you'll see that one side of the legs, the protrusions are facing up, and the other side, the protrusions are facing down. You see these little beads, these little anchors here. So pay attention to that. For when you're putting it together, you have these bits facing down, and then the other leg, the bits are facing up. Here, the anchors are facing up. So, because you're going to use them at some point. And the screws to hold these together in the middle here, I just gave them one turn. With the Allen key that they provided, I gave them one turn. I gave them one turn tight, just so it's easy for me. If I need to readjust, I can quickly loosen it up and readjust. So now I'm gonna do step 3. And step 3, the notes at the top of the page say do not fully tighten the bolts. So yes, I'm gonna do this part here now. Let's go. So I did part 3 and part 4, which is the second bit of piece 7 on the list of materials, right? It still says do not tighten the bolts. The one thing to mention is when you're putting piece 7, the little lip here, one of them is facing down, like you can see in my part here, but the other one should be facing up, so you get the grooves here for the baskets to go in. So you'll see that's why they separated in part 3 and part 4, and you can see here this is facing up, this little lip here is facing up. So the next part I'm gonna do is part 5, where they say tighten all bolts from steps 2 through 5. I'm gonna do that and put the shelf at the bottom, which is piece 3, after I tighten all the bolts from steps 2 through 5. All right, Part 5 is done. I tightened all the nuts and bolts and put on the bottom shelf. So now we're gonna move to step 6, where it says install the casters and washers first. So we're gonna take this seriously now. Install the casters on number 8 and then slip them on to number 5. And then step 7, we are adding the pieces that we put together in step 6 to the rest of the structure. So I'll see you back when I get to step 7. Okay, part 7. One of the other side of the legs is on. And I think part 8 is the other leaf of the table, which is this part here. I'm gonna attach it on to the other side of the table, and this is what this schematic is showing. And then once I put on the other side, we're gonna tackle the actual tabletop and the hinges. So it's those pieces up here. All right, so section 9 is done. I screwed in all these, and also there's this piece here, and then now I'm gonna flip the table. So let's look. So that's the part I just did. And next I'm gonna flip the legs and screw them in to the middle part of the table, this part here, and get my partner to help me flip it over once I'm done. Should be fun. And I think we're all done after that. Yeah, it wasn't too difficult. Pretty easy to put together. You just need to read the directions and do exactly what they say, especially with the notes up top here. Never mind, looks like I'm able to flip it myself. So it was flat on its back, right, like this. So I lifted the sides like they suggested here, closed panel, and carefully flip the table. They say 2 people, but I dragged it on its side. So now I'm about to flip it the other way, and we should be all done. Oh my god, it's perfect. Okay, even the height is perfect. So we'll see. All done. Thanks for watching.